I'm Tommie Lee, and this is the Scam of the Week. Jan Diaz, the Vice President of the Better Business Bureau for Northern Indiana, is joining us today. Jan, how are you?
I'm doing well, Tommie. Thanks for having me.
We are talking about phishing this time around. If you're thinking about clicking a link that you're not sure about in your email, think again, because, of course, it could be a scam. And Jan's going to tell us more about these phishing scams, how they're evolving, and what we should watch out for. Jan, to start with, can you clarify for our listeners what exactly is phishing?
Yeah, great question, Tommie. So a phishing scam is a tactic that scammers, fraudsters will use. It's really a common thing to lure people into revealing personal information about themselves or the companies that they work for. Phishing can have a lot of repercussions. If a person falls for a phishing scam, the scammer can apply for loans and credit cards in their name, even drain their bank account. They can get into their any services or sell their information to another scammer online. And it can be really difficult to identify who these scammers are and even recover from being a victim of this type of phishing scam. So unfortunately, scammers are using all kinds of methods to trick victims into falling for their phishing scam.
Really? See, I thought that phishing was mainly just through emails. So what other methods do they use?
Yeah, absolutely. Every scam starts with the scammer attempting to connect with their victim, and they'll start targeting people, and they will use any means possible. So, Tommie, not just emails, but texts, calls, voicemail, and even letters through the mail. So we even see some more sophisticated scammers setting traps by planting phishing attempts on lookalike websites. They're really fake sites inside search engines, and it's as if they're just waiting to reel the victim in.
So you're telling me we also have to keep an eye on our search results too. That's great. Can you give us an example of this?
Yes. So let's say you just purchased a subscription to a streaming service like Netflix or Hulu. And in order to complete your activation, you need to log into your web browser. So this is something that's common, it's normal. But you do a quick search on the search engine and receive several links with the streaming service's name. Sometimes you don't know which is the right streaming service because if you use Google and you bring up that search result, typically people will click on that first result. But you may notice that the website looks a little off. Be cautious if something like this happens and trust your intuition. If the site looks off, the site that you clicked on may be a scam. So we are warning folks to especially be cautious if they're asked to update their web browser. This lookalike site has been created to trick victims into downloading malware. If they click update or any other button, it could download a virus that gives the scammers access to a person's personal information. So it's best if this happens to get out of the website completely and close the browser immediately. Another way that this reveals itself is another time when you click on a phony website and you enter your user ID. It could be a username or it could be an email, and then you enter your password. That information, instead of going to where you think it's going, because you're at a phony site, it's going straight to the scammers. And now they have access. They have your username, they have your password, and they have access to your official account and anywhere else that you use that username and password combination. So we're seeing this happen even over the phone with imposters stating that they're from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles or they're with the U.S. Postal Service.
That's really sneaky. So how are people supposed to keep up with all of these scams?
Great question. It's tough, but the Better Business Bureau's International Investigations Initiative is on top of it. So we've been going through thousands of reports on the BBB scam tracker at bbb.org, talking with cybersecurity experts, checking out the latest trends, and we've put together an in-depth study on the findings, so listeners can find the report and other helpful articles at bbb.org/US/news.
What did the report find out? What did you uncover?
Yeah, so they compiled all their findings into a new study, and it is pretty eye-opening. Phishing scams are one of the oldest internet frauds, and are still dangerous and growing today. Text-based scams are becoming even more popular today.
This all sounds really serious, and that's why you guys did the study.
Yes, that's correct. And you're right, Tommie, it is serious, but that's the purpose for the study, to help consumers, businesses, news media, researchers, and regulatory agencies to get an in-depth understanding of a couple of things. First of all, how these scams work and the new ways scammers are using technology to their advantage. We're seeing these scammers take advantage of AI to make their messages look and sound more realistic and professional. Makes it much harder to detect. And then the study also helps us know the red flags to look for when we're trying to identify and avoid these common scams.
This is all really good information, and it's good to know that somebody's out there studying this to make sure they've got our backs. Just exactly how bad is it right now, Jan?
Yeah, so since early 2021, BBB Scam Tracker has received over 23,000 phishing reports, which is huge. Last year alone, there were over 9,000 reports, nearly double the amount from the previous year. And then in this year, we're on track to have another record year where we're seeing phishing scams again.
That's a lot, and it's just so easy to fall into these pitfalls, even if you know what you're doing online. So are there specific things that we should be watching out for?
Definitely. And we'll dive deeper into different types of phishing scams in the weeks to come. But for today, here's some general phishing scam red flags. First, watch out for an email, text message, or chat that looks suspicious and describes account problems or asks for financial information. It may be a scam site attempting to collect your personal information. And this is what we call unsolicited email, text messages, or calls. You didn't ask for the information. And then also be wary of messages with typos or urgent language and those offering government refunds. Be sure to always use caution when you're asked to click on a link. Not all links that you click on are safe. You can hover over the link in an unsolicited email and see where the actual link is coming from. It may be a brand or business or person that you think you know, but if the link doesn't match the blue text, or if it's a short link and you can't tell where it leads, don't click on it. We always tell folks to make sure that you are using the official company website online and definitely not click on links that you receive through the mail. It could also lead to one of those lookalike sites where your personal information could be compromised. I
always learn so much when I talk to you guys, and at the same time, I'm always a little scared about so many of the things that are out there. So what should people do if they suspect that they're being scammed?
So if a person thinks they're being scammed, whether they've lost money or not, they should report it to the appropriate authorities right away. So if it's a bank, it should be their financial institution. But be sure to file a scam report also with BBB. You can go to bbb.org/scam tracker. You can also report it not only to BBB or the local authorities, but you can also report it to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov, and then also to the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and their site is tips.fbi.gov/home. And then the more reports that not only the Better Business Bureau gets, but everyone else gets, the better that we can combat these fraudsters. So a person's report, if they report it, again, can really help others avoid similar scams.
And again, you can check out any business at bbb.org. And you can also find so many other great tools on that website to help protect yourself and those around you. And remember, spread the word if you discover something like this. We have to have each other's backs, especially nowadays when the scammers are getting far more sophisticated and have so much more sophisticated technology at their fingertips. Just remember, you've got weapons too, so you should use them. All right, Jan Diaz, the VP of the Northern Indiana Better Business Bureau. It's always a pleasure. I look forward to the next time we get to chat. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thanks so much, Tommie.